Greetings, everybody, and welcome to a DVD review. This time around, I figured I would go back and kind of dug through some of my movies that I completely forgot I had. They were sitting around in a tote, and I completely forgot I owned this version of the movie. And it's a classic film. At least, in my opinion, it is. But it's a really good thriller directed by Clint Eastwood. Yeah. What movie is that? Well, find out next here on the Media Files. Welcome back. So which Clint Eastwood movie am I talking about here? Because he's directed lots of great thrillers and whatnot. However, this one is based on a book by author Dennis Lehane. I'm of course talking about a masterwork of Clint Eastwood's from very early, the early 2000s, Mystic River. Yeah, now this is the 3-disc deluxe edition, which is kind of hard to find. I know that there is just a single disc, but this is the deluxe edition, which came out afterward, and it won 2 Academy Awards for Best Actor and Best Supporting Actor. Best Actor for Sean Penn and Best Supporting Actor for Tim Robbins. Not only that, though, it has an all-star cast, too. It's got, also co-stars Kevin Bacon, Lawrence Fishburne, Marcia Gay Harden, and Lauren Linney. I mean, basically, it's about 3 friends who basically have been... who grew up together. They drifted apart because after a tragedy that happened, and one of the characters' daughters is brutally murdered. So it's a murder mystery. Yeah. And I tell you what, this movie, I've forgotten all about this movie, but I tell you what, but Sean Penn's acting in this scene alone made the movie for me, and it's so good. I mean, it's so emotional about what happens, but it's, it's basically the whole point of the whole story is basically Jimmy, Dave, and Sean, friends who grew up in a working class Boston. They drift apart after a terrible tragedy. Years later, brutal events connect them. Jimmy's 19-year-old daughter is coldly murdered. Dave is a suspect, and Sean, now a cop, scrambles to solve the crime before the violent Jimmy takes the law into his own hands. Working from Brian Higgelin's adaptation of Dennis Lehane's novel, director Clint Eastwood shapes a masterwork, a brooding thriller built on family, friends, and innocent loss. Sean Penn, Tim Robbins, and Kevin Bacon played the pivotal threesome, joining Lawrence Fishburne, Marcia Gay Harden, and Lauren Linney in one of the most powerful casts ever. The river has many depths. Let it wash over you. Yes, wash over you. So, anyways, this specific edition is very hard to find. I believe it's actually out of print. But what's so cool about it is that not only does it have, the first disc, which, hang on a second here. One of them fell out. Probably have to hold on to it because one of the things is clipped off. But here it is. You got the first movie, or the first disc, which contains the movie. The second disc, which features the bonus features. But what's probably the coolest thing about it is you don't see this very often with movies, is that it also comes with a third disc, which is the soundtrack. Yeah. That's something you don't see very often. You never see a movie that comes out with the soundtrack at all. That's very rare for movies to come out with. But not only that, though, it was composed by Clint Eastwood himself. Because I know he does a lot of his own scores, because he's actually also a jazz pianist as well. So with the movie, you get the first disc, you get a commentary by Tim Robbins and Kevin Bacon. On the second disc, you get a couple of documentaries: Mystic River, Beneath the Surface, Mystic River, From Page to Screen, the teaser and the regular theatrical trailers, But also, this is the coolest thing about it, is that it also includes interviews from the Charlie Rose Show, featuring Clint Eastwood, Tim Robbins, and Kevin Bacon. If you have not watched any interviews or anything like that from the Charlie Rose Show, check it out. It's just one of those shows that, you know, if you like movies, because you can tell this guy likes movies. He's a journalist and whatever, but he always does. He's kind of like similar to Leonard Maltin, kind of, where he interviews actors for a news program and stuff. But also, like I said, the third disc has the soundtrack, which features 19 tracks of amazing, brooding, emotional music from Clint Eastwood. I mean, this movie was so well done. I remember watching it, and it's been a long time since I've watched it. I might actually go back and watch this after I'm done reviewing it, actually. But yeah, I remember when I first saw this movie, I heard of it, but I just bought it kind of on a whim to see how it was. And wow, was I blown away by this movie. And, Clint Eastwood, if you give him the right material, he will make something really, 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 really good. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so what I will do is down below, I will leave a link in the description down below to purchase this specific edition. I do not think that this has been released on Blu-ray that has the bonus features on it. I don't think it has been yet. I'll have to look it up. But I know for a fact you definitely can't find this edition anymore. It's definitely out of print. Way long out of print. So if you have those special editions, people, hold on to them. Do not sell them, because they may be a collector's item at one point or at some time or another. Yeah, so with that, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next review.